Fridays, Tuesdays are my birthday. Every day is Saturday night. This is the level that I'm working at. It's what happens when you talk hot. Right, I'm rolling undefeated. To get to this feeling, you gotta mean it. Don't tease it, you must believe it to be it. And you will. Don't let anyone boss you around. You know what you got, now you're sitting on top, and that's the way it should be. If you want it, you take it. Don't be intimidated, cause nobody here knows that you're so underestimated. I say Mondays are not Fridays, Tuesdays are my birthday, every day is Saturday night. I say Mondays are not Fridays, Tuesdays are my birthday, every day is Saturday night.
So, hi, Danko. Do you hear me good? It's a pleasure
Yeah.
to talk to you about this new album. You are on tour, a huge tour in this moment because you begin in Helsinki, 19 of November, and today you are in Luxembourg, not very
Hmm.
far from France.
No, no, we're almost there.
Yeah, you will be came in France very soon. It was the 4 December. You play in Paris, and you will play in the Trabendo. So it was very soon. So perhaps my first question will be very simple. How was this tour? You are with Tuck Smith and the Restless Hearts in supports. You are the headliner, of course. How was the tour? How do you live this life on the road?
So far, the tour has been great. We are 5 shows in. Tonight will be the sixth show, and there's 19 shows in total. So we're almost at the one-third mark of the tour. And so far it's been great. Tuck Smith has been great, great opener. He opened for us years ago with
Mhm.
his old band, The Biters. We took them out as well in 2012, I think. But yeah, so far it's been great. Pretty much sold out, if not nearly sold out every night, including tonight. It's almost sold out. So rammed with people and everyone's into it and no complaints.
Yeah, so it's a great tour for you to come back in Europe. I know that I know, and everybody know we are on Metal Ops TV everywhere in the world on YouTube. So on the channel Metal Ops TV, and everybody knows that you are very well known in Europe.
Mm.
You came from Canada, of course.
Mhm.
So how do you feel in Europe? Is it something that you like to change from country each day, I will say. So you are a huge traveler.
Yeah, I mean, even though we're from Canada, we've toured Europe the most. So when I'm on tour, I feel most at home in Europe, in all the countries we visited, including Luxembourg. We've played the Rock Hall, I don't know, 4 times, 5 times. Like we know this venue and pretty well. So dare I say we know the Trebendo better than a lot of places in Canada, So like
Uh-huh,
we're most at home in Europe touring.
uh-huh,
We've done it for over 20 years. Whereas in Canada, there's been many years in between where we haven't toured at all.
uh-huh.
Next year, next January and February, we are doing Canadian dates, but not as much. And before that, I can't even recall when we went out west. So we do manage to do it maybe once a year, but in
Uh-huh.
Europe, we're always here. So it feels more at home to be in Europe. And I mean, I'm talking about Europe as it's a continent as opposed to Canada, which is a country. But the
Yeah.
tours happen in one shot, right? We do a whole European tour. So touring, doing those kinds of tours it feels much more comfortable for us.
How do you explain finally that in Canada, it's your country, that is, I will say, more difficult to play in your country?
Mm.
Finally, we suppose it was not that you will play a lot in Canada, like so
Mhm.
many bands in Canada can do. How do you explain that finally Duncan Jones can't play too much in Canada?
Well, we did it to ourselves, Before we started going to Europe, we would play Canada because it's the only place we could get shows.
Uh-huh.
Once the opportunity to tour Europe opened up for us, we toured. And then on our first tour, before we even came home, we already had an offer to come back. And after that, we just kept getting offers and we just kept not going to Canada and we just kept going to Europe. So, um, it was, partly we did it to ourselves. Where if
Mhm.
you're away for a long period of time, people
Yeah.
forget about you.
Yeah.
They just do. They move on with their lives, and there's a new generation of music fans that come, and they don't know who you are. So that's what kind of happened with us, and we don't mind that. I understand that because I'd much rather tour in Europe. I'm being honest. Like, it's great that people in, your home country know who you are and they
Mhm.
come to shows. And we see those bands who tour only Canada and they do very well, but I don't want to trade places with them.
Mhm.
I'd
Yeah.
much rather prefer going to Paris and then going to Stockholm and then, going to London. And
Uh-huh.
London is sold out today. We just found
Yeah.
out. Much rather sell out London than than
Yeah.
any city in Canada. So, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's finally Europe is a sort of a second country for you.
Yeah.
Like you said, each show it's sold out. All the shows are sold out. A lot of shows are sold out. So it's great for the band, Danko Jones, of course.
Mhm.
So you come back with this new album, Leo Rising, 2 years after Electric Sounds. So you go very fast
Yeah.
to write and to record this album. Finally, 2 years, and you go on tour just after that. How was the writing of this album compared to the last one? Was it the same process? Do you? I know that you work a lot on each song and you write the songs. How was it for you this time? Was it different?
No, it was pretty much the same. But the last record, we did manage to get into a rehearsal room for 3 days in Berlin, Germany, during some time off, and we just played for hours and hours for three days. And I think it yielded 4 or 5 ideas that became songs for the last record. This record, we tried to do that again, this time in Zurich,
Uh-huh.
Switzerland. We were there when we did 2 days in a rehearsal room, and we were there for hours and hours. It only yielded one idea. So that made the record. The rest of the songs on this record were done remotely. I would write I would write ideas in at home and then send them to JC, and then he would arrange them. He arranges all our
Mhm.
songs. So there was more songs on this album that were written remotely as opposed to Electric Sounds, the last record. Half of it was written remotely, half of it was written, well, the ideas came in a room together. Like songs like off the last record, Guess Who's Back? Um, oh God, I can't remember the names, but there was about four or five songs that became songs
Uh-huh.
f- from being in a room together.
Sick of sitting all alone, wanna change what I got now. Do what feels impossible to make them all say wow. Everything I got, I've sweated for, but you can have it all. You choose to recording like you did last time for the last album. You don't recording in a one room. Everybody, you record your parts in your, I suppose, in studio or studio, and GC was record his part in his town, I suppose. How was it? What are the main differences finally to record like that compare if the band is in a studio and everybody is there?
Well, we are in a studio. I mean, we have I go into the studio in Toronto.
Uh-huh.
Rich flies into Toronto to do his drums. and I record in the same studio with the producer. I record my vocals and my guitar. JC he lives in Finland, so
Yeah.
he stays there, and he's the only one who sends his files to the studio,
Ah,
to the
okay.
producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I'm there with the producer. I'm there. Rich is there with the producer, and we do our parts in a real recording studio with the producer. So.
So is it finally is it each time you go in studio, you record an album, you play guitar, you sing, so your job, is it always a challenge? I mean, is there something that you are in your head when you record an album that you want to get?
I mean, the challenge is just I mean, by the time we get into the studio, the songs are pretty much written and you kind of know how you want them to sound. You kind of want, exactly what they sound in your head. It's the now comes the work to put that sound onto tape and try and make sure it sounds as close as what you can picture in your head. For me, the challenge, as it is with touring, is to make sure that I have my voice.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the one thing. So I kind of want to do those vocals as soon as I can.
So there is 11 tracks on this album.
Mhm.
You have put out some songs like a single, Every Day is Saturday Night. And there is also this songs, Diamond in the Rough, incredible songs, very 70s spirit, you know. Like you say, it's an homage to Kiss because you
Mhm.
love them since since the beginning. Uh, and there are a lot of people to love Kiss, of course. Diamond in the Rough, and there is a special guest, Marty Friedman, who is doing an incredible solo, like he know to do.
Yeah.
What was the idea finally to think about Marty Friedman, who have played with in Megadeth, Cacophony, and all these bands? So it's a universe a little different, I will say. He is not in the way of Kiss. What was the idea?
It well, been friends with Marty for, I don't know, 15 years.
Mm,
I sang on his album in 2014, Inferno. I sang three songs. And knowing Marty, personally, I know his two favorite bands are Kiss and the Ramones. Those are his two favorite bands. So when we finally have this song that's kind of harkens back to old Kiss, I mean, I could do the solo, but I mean, it would
yeah.
be great to have Marty on that song. He could really, really dig his heels into it. So we asked him to do it. I actually didn't have a solo written for this song. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll come up with it. But since I don't have a solo anyways, why don't we just get Marty to do it? That would be incredible. Like, and it's Kiss-esque. It kind of
Mm,
sounds like Kiss, and he loves Kiss, so it all just kind of made sense. And it had been a long time coming. Like, we'd put out, I don't know, since 14, we put out one, two, three, four, five albums. And he hadn't made an appearance. So finally we got him on one.
you love to get a special guest. I see that on each album there is or there are
Usually.
some guests.
Yeah.
It's something that you appreciate. You,
Yeah, well, the last album, Electric Sounds, has three guests, which is the most we've ever had. But they were like, they were just friends who showed up to the studio. Like Daniel DK does a solo on the title track. He's an exciter. He just showed up. He had to see our producer. So he was there and we're friends. So he just threw a guitar and we were doing guitar at the time. So it was easy. Damian Abraham from the band Fucked Up, he sang backups on a few tracks because he was visiting because we're friends. And then Tyler Stewart from the Bare Naked Ladies, he came down. He was asked to come down because Eric has produced his band. But we're friends too. I've known Tyler for 30 years. So it's
yeah,
like it was easy to get these guys to come down. The album previous, Power Trio, that had Phil Campbell from Motorhead, he did a guitar
yes, yeah.
on. And of course, we're friends with Phil. We've toured with Motorhead. So it was great to have Phil on. So yeah, everyone. who comes on our albums, there is a history behind it. Like we're just
Uh-huh.
not asking random people.
Uh-huh.
These are our friends.
Yeah.
And so when we can see a opening that we can hear their voice on, then we'll get them in there. Yeah, for sure.
I love the clip. It's realized by Patrick Hulaeus, and there is a Wicked Kisser. This
Yeah.
band, cover
Yeah.
band, incredible. They look like Kiss, of course. And How is born finally to call them to be on the clip. You are like a director, and you are around, and they play on stage, everything like that. And what was the idea? It's a friend of you, of course, too.
No, JC came up with that idea to get a Kiss cover band to lip sync the song because the song does harken back to old Kiss, like the first five albums.
If you need some love, well, look me up. Might be your thing you're thinking of. Don't know what's right, just know what's tight. I can't fake it, I'm on that tonight. Let's do this dance, it's what you want.
Um, and since we live in different cities and the director is in Gothenburg, Sweden, we're not going to fly to Sweden to do this video. That's
Mm.
too expensive for all of us to fly in there just to do this video and lip sync a song. So JC said, why don't we just get a Kiss tribute band to lip sync it for us? So Wicked Kisser are a Kiss tribute band from Gothenburg. All they had to do is drive over to Patrick's place. And then if we just have them, there's no tie-in to our band other than the song. So I filmed something with a friend of mine in my living room. So they slotted my parts in there so there can be a
Mm.
connection with our band
Yeah,
and the
okay.
video.
Mm. So the video is great, really.
Oh, thanks.
I love
But
it.
but it's also a play on the Kiss made for TV movie Phantom of the Park.
Oh
So
yes, yes,
I
Phantom
play
of the
the
Park.
Phantom. Yeah.
The only film of Kiss, it was in 1979, if I remember.
Yeah.
This incredible film. Yes, they are superhero. Yes, you speak of Kiss, so perhaps a little words about Ace, because everybody know that he is now passed away, and it was really a shock for everybody who love music, not especially Kiss, but all the hard rock music, I will say. What was your feeling when you learned the Ace passed away?
Well, it was sad to hear that he passed away. Yeah, I don't really have that much to say about it. It was, mm, yeah, it's too bad, but that's how it goes.
Mm.
Yeah, I love, of course, Kiss are my favorite band, so it was sad to hear that one of the original four had passed away.
Yes, yes, for everybody, of course. You are, like you say, you are a Kiss fan. Do you have the opportunity to meet them, to talk to them? Because we know that Kiss is another
Mhm.
planet, I will say. Uh,
Right, right. Uh, just Gene. I've just met
uh,
Gene.
uh-huh.
Yeah. He was nice to us. We met him in Philadelphia in 2005. Yeah, he was nice to us. So it was good.
How is it to finally meet your hero, one of your hero?
I don't know. It was not, I don't know. I've been more shocked to meet other people. It's weird because Kiss are my favorite band ever, but my favorite member is Paul. So
Uh,
I don't know how that will ever go down if I ever meet Paul. That'll be like, whoa. But Gene was cool. I mean, he was really nice to us. So I don't have any bad memories from it. So it was
yeah,
nice. But I
mm,
wasn't like in shock. Like,
yeah, yeah.
maybe if I was like, 13, I would have been.
Yeah, about this album because there are a lot of songs, like I say, 11 songs. There are two new singles just who came before What You Need, and every day is Saturday night. It's a
Yeah.
party song, really. It's a great song. It's the message that you want to say in this song. Every day is Saturday night, that it was a
Um,
party every day. I think a song of Kiss, you know. Uh,
yes, that's true. But I mean, and it does sound like a party song. And if you interpret it that way, then that's great. But it's really the line comes from when I didn't want to go out. And people would say, "Hey, why don't you come out to this?" And I'd say, like, "No, I just got off tour." And when you're on tour, every day is Saturday night. Every day
yeah.
is a Friday
Mm.
night when you're on tour. So when I'm home, I don't want to go out. I want to be still. I want peace and quiet. I don't want to move. I've been moving for X amount of weeks, X amount of months. Every day has been Saturday night for me. Now I want rest. So that's where the title of the song comes from.
Ah, yeah. So finally, you are very quiet man when you are at house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, going to a show at home when I'm home, it's like going to the office on a Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And each in this time you get one show each day finally. So that's a party
Yeah.
time for you. Uh,
I say Mondays are not Fridays, Tuesdays are my birthday, every day is Saturday night. I can't be bothered by anybody who doesn't wanna go out and get it. You're welcome to stay home and regret it. I don't got time for complaining, what I need is to maintain. I got a lot on my plate and I don't need the berating. I say Mondays are not Fridays, Tuesdays are my birthday, every day is Saturday night.
About Leo Rising, how is Bouncy Side? What is our signification? Leo Rising, with this cover, this tiger, a little Japanese, I will say. That's what I feel when I see the cover.
Oh, I thought it was more like a royalty, like a
Oh,
regal kind of royalty. But the reason for there's no real reason or explanation other than the first album. Our first album is called Born a Lion, and this is our 12th album. And
yeah.
12 is a nice round number, 12, kind of rounds it out, bookends it properly. So that's really other than that. I mean, if you want to talk about it astrologically, sure. Born a lion is your sun sign. Rising sign is a different sign. So you can talk about it astrologically, but really it's just a nice, we have 12 studio albums. It's a nice way to bookend both.
12 studio album is huge. Now
Yeah.
next year you will celebrate 30 years of the band.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It was incredible. When you begin this band, do you think it was in 1996, something like that? Uh,
96.
that finally, 30 years after, you record albums. There are a lot of people who came to see you, and nobody forgot you. Finally, you are you are like Kiss and indestructible.
Yeah, I mean it's quite I guess next year will be an eventful year. I don't think we're celebrating it in any way, but it's just nice to know that we've been able to do it for 30 years. When we first started, I don't really think that we knew had any inkling that this would last for this long. No way. But it has. And you look back and suddenly 20 years has gone by. You just don't, you're not even, you don't even think about it. So you have other people remind you, yeah, 30 years is coming up. So, but for me personally, I feel like we have a new album, we have new songs to play. We are a band that's current. We're not putting out a greatest hits. We're not going on tour to play our most successful album from beginning to end. We're not, reveling in the nostalgia of it. No, we've got our eyes forward and we're putting out new material always.
Yes, yes, that's true. 2 years, each 2 years you record,
Yep.
and after you go on tour. That's
Yep.
the life you like finally, to be
Yep.
active and to live in the future.
Yep.
It was yes, we speak about all this. Is there in this you write the lyrics, a lot of lyrics. Is there a lyrics who is very important on this album for you?
I mean, yeah, sure. They're all personal, but I never put it on the listener. The listener can interpret it the way they
Uh-huh.
want to. So the example, case in point is Every Day is Saturday Night. People take it one way. It comes from a completely opposite place. But songs like I Love It Louder, I'm Going
Great
Blind,
song.
and Hot Fox. Those three are very personable to me.
Mm. It was, do you know what will be the next single? I suppose you know, but do you have a
I
next
Love It
thing?
Louder. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be I Love It Louder. Yeah.
So very soon there is a perhaps a video too for these tracks.
I hope so, but I think if there is going to be another single, it'll be I Love It Louder.
Mm.
Anymore, don't think I ever did. I realized the game was rigged and the good guys never win. You love it loud, you love it loud, but I love it louder. You love it loud, you love it loud.
We speak about these 30 years, and when I look all what you do in your career, it was you have some highlights like you tour, you open for 2 months for Guns N' Roses in 2010, huge tour in Canada. There is also Sebastian Bach who is over there. Uh, what memories do you have of this incredible tour? You opened also for Rolling Stone.
Right. Well, I mean, Guns N' Roses, they took us on tour to 10 different countries that year in 2010. So we played in not only Canada, but we played like Russia,
Oh yeah.
Romania, Norway, Finland. Like they took us in 10 different countries. Um, and it was great. Like they treated us great. And it was fun to tour with Axel and Sebastian. And, Sebastian is from the same suburb that I grew up. We grew up from the same suburb.
Uh-huh.
So when I met him, I was like, I grew up on Seneca Hill. And then he knows where Seneca Hill, like we know the same places. So it was nice to talk to Sebastian about that.
And do you learn something when you see some huge band like the Rolling Stone play on stage? I mean, you open for them. Do you learn something? I mean, a huge machine like that.
Well, we played their warm-up gig in Toronto for the 40 Licks tours.
Uh-huh.
And so it was in a venue that held about 1,500 people. And so it was an intimate show for the Rolling Stones. For any other band, it would be a big show, but for the Stones, it was an intimate
Yeah.
show. Yeah. I didn't learn anything really other than I was in awe of watching them and I
Mm,
got to see their sound check and it was a great night. We
mm,
hadn't slept the night before just to make the gig because we were on tour, so we had to boot it all night to make the gig. We got there early in the morning. So by the end of the night, after the show was done, we were all like in in need of a lot of sleep, but we were very happy that we did it.
yeah. Yeah, it's finally Rolling Stone are the Rolling Stone, and to open for them, it's
Yeah.
incredible. So, last question: what will you say? Very something more about this album. We talk about some songs. We could talk about the writing. That is important for you that people who will perhaps discover this new album, Leo Rising, or perhaps may even discover the band, Danko Jones. What would you say is to understand this album and understand the band?
I don't know, this is our 12th album. Um, we just put out rock records. Um, Nothing really deeper than that to understand. I think uh, the consistency of our discography is really what speaks for itself. We put out hard rock records. That's what we are. We don't try to rewrite
Yeah.
any kind of music or take ourselves too seriously where,
Mm.
we insist on experimenting and have the arrogance to think that our audience that we've worked so hard to get over the last 11 albums will want to listen to any sort of experiment that we do. I think that's very arrogant for bands when they do that.
Uh-huh.
The good thing is that we play hard rock music. We always do, and it's something everybody has expected of us. But also, at the end of the day, it's the music that I want to play.
Uh-huh.
It's the only music I really want to play. I love listening to it and playing it. So I'm pretty authentic with even though, people go, "Oh, it just sounds all the albums sound the same." It's like, "Well, yeah, because I like that music. Like that's us."
Mhm.
And it's very hard to from afar, it sounds like, oh, they're just rehashing it. But if you actually listen closer, every album has different musical references. Every every album has different rock reference. Like, for example, on this album, the song "I'm Going Blind," I mean, it's directly influenced by a CCR song. So like CCR, we haven't even ever used as a reference ever.
Uh-huh.
So it's a you have I mean, I just say all our albums sound the same because that's what a lot of people say about us. And that's only half true. It's not really true. The You only get to the truth about this band is if you listen to the albums a little closer because every album there's different musical references. But I'm not asking anyone to listen to find them. I'm not asking anyone to listen to them closer. If you like it and you listen to it in the background, that's fine by me too.
So thank you very much, Danko, for this interview, for this speaking about this album and speaking about the band. And I will say a great show tonight in
Oh,
Luxembourg. Thank you.
yeah,
Have a
yeah,
great
yeah.
show and have a nice time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you,
talking to you.
Danko. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye-bye.